California Democrats doubled down on pain at the pump. Instead of backing a bill to temporarily suspend California's gas tax, they're proposing new legislation that would impose a new tax on fuel suppliers. Great. More taxes. How very democratic of you, California. Democrats on California's Assembly Transportation Committee rejected the gas tax holiday bill on a party line vote Monday. It should come as no surprise that they're backing Governor Gavin Newsom's plan to provide $400 debt cards to drivers to offset the gas gouge.
Seeing a $9 billion tax refund to tens of millions of Californians, $400 for each registered vehicle that an individual owns, up to 2 vehicles. That direct relief will address the issue that we all are struggling to address, and that's the issue of gas prices, not only here in our state, but of course all across this country. This direct relief is on top of the $10+ billion that we have distributed over the last year with the Golden State stimulus. So all told, close to $20 billion of direct tax relief here in the state of California. And by the way, we're building on this direct tax relief by also providing the opportunity for transit agencies to provide upwards of 3 months of free public transit, and also accelerating efforts to increase investments in pedestrian and bicycle safety.
Well, California drivers are paying the highest price per gallon in the country. The average in the Golden State now stands at $5.91, and people are growing more and more frustrated with fuel prices with each passing day.
Gas is still expensive, and people are still frustrated.
These days, gas is going crazy.
A gallon of regular gas at this San Mateo station costs $5.69. That's a bargain these days, considering the average price for regular gas in the Bay Area is now nearly $6 a gallon. Governor Newsom announced a proposal for an $11 billion relief package to try and alleviate some of the pain at the pump.
That direct relief will address the issue that we all are struggling to address, and that's the issue of gas prices.
His proposal: if you own a car, you'd get a $400 tax refund that'll get mailed to you in the form of a debit card. If you own 2 cars, you'd get $800. The proposal caps the rebate at 2 vehicles. Teresa Ma wasn't thrilled to pay $60 for only 2/3 of a tank on Wednesday afternoon, but she sees the governor's proposal as a band-aid, a short-term solution to a long-term problem.
So they should try to bring up an economy situation here instead of keep giving people money to solve a little problem and create more bigger problem.
The proposal also includes $750 million in grants to transit and rail agencies to provide free transit to Californians for 3 months.
Newsom's scheme to hand out gas cards is about as worthless as Biden's plan to release oil from the nation's strategic petroleum reserve. It's a drop in the ocean, a cheap ploy to appease the mindless sheeple who keep electing these tax and spend Democrats. As far as the proposal that would impose a new state tax on fuel suppliers, do they really think suppliers are just going to absorb that cost? Of course not. It'll get passed on to the consumer in the form of even higher gas prices. As Sleepy Joe would say, come on, man. Joining us now, the man looking to oust Gavin Newsom from office, Republican candidate for governor of California, Anthony Trimino. Anthony, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So how high exactly do gas prices need to be before Americans not only complain, but demand action? And how do we pressure our elected leaders to light a fire under the Biden admin to take appropriate measures to reduce those costs?
So prices are already there. So I was just in Los Angeles and I paid $7.39 a gallon. In fact, I was attempting to fill up my truck and the gas pump stopped at $125, would not allow me to actually fill up my tank. So I left with about 3/4 of a tank in my car. We've had gas prices are to the point now where people are waking up and taking note of the strategic play that the governor is implementing during an election year. $400 is not nearly enough to cover, even a month or 2 worth of the extra the taxes that we're paying. At the end of the day, here's what I want voters to understand. This is an election year, and what's happening is they're allowing us to suffer long enough for that stimulus to happen come August or September, right before an election. What they're hoping is that we get amnesia, that we forget about what we've suffered through, and that we look at that stimulus check as turning over a new leaf just in time for an election. But ultimately, here's what's at play. The governor wants to eliminate gas-consuming vehicles in 10 years. What better way to do that than to make, putting gas in your car so unaffordable that you have no other option? So I think we're waking up. I think people are smart enough to realize that in California, we consume more gas than any other state in the nation. Therefore, just basic economics would show that we should be paying the least amount anywhere in the nation, and we're not. And I think people are fed up. I don't think that this ploy is going to work, and I think that people are going to tell Newsom exactly what they think come the primary election and definitely in November for the general.
Well, like you just said, too, you couldn't fill up a full tank of gas. I mean, why is that happening? It sounds like they don't even want you to drive anymore, let alone other problematic issues.
That's what it would seem like. Yeah, exactly.
So you're challenging Gavin Newsom to become the next governor. What's your plan to alleviate the pain at the pump exactly?
So I'm a business owner, and I know that the majority of small business owners are leaving the state. They cannot operate their businesses. Employees cannot get to work. And so what I'm going to do, and I've often told people, we don't just need a governor here in California. We need a CEO, somebody that understands what small businesses are going through, what employees are going through. And so we're going to work to alleviate a lot of the pressure that's being put unnecessarily on taxpayers and on small businesses. So as the CEO, we're going to stop some of these unnecessary taxes, eliminate a lot of the unnecessary spending. We're operating at a $47 billion surplus. Why is it that we're paying more taxes by double than any other state in the nation? Why is it that our gas prices, our food prices continue to rise? Why is it that our income tax continues to rise? So we're going to put an end to that in a way that no politician can, that only a business owner can, someone from the private sector, and that's what I'm looking to do.
Business owner reminds me of someone else we may have had in the White House before. California is home to 5 of the top 10 most expensive cities in the U.S. The state is sitting on a $31 billion surplus, yet our roads and infrastructure don't show that. What's your plan to better spend California's taxpayer dollars? Because from the looks of it, it looks like Biden's infrastructure didn't reach California.
Yeah, so as a person that has had to replace tires twice in the last 6 months because of flat tires from potholes and our poor infrastructure, trust me, I take this very personal. And the truth of the matter is that, again, because we don't have business people running our state, California is the 5th largest economy on the planet. We need business people running our state as a business. We need to look at Californians as shareholders of that corporation, and we need to be accountable to our shareholders. We need transparency. We need to be able to audit our books and to be able to show Californians where their money is going. It's definitely not going into our schools. It's not going into our roads. It's definitely not going into our pockets. So why is it that we're operating at a surplus, but yet we're suffering at the gas pump? We're suffering with poor infrastructure. Our schools and our students are suffering lowest test scores in the nation, or in the bottom 2. It's absurd. So I know that the governor likes to tout that we're sitting on a surplus, but all that shows us is that he's overtaxed us and he's not using our money wisely.
So, you're running for governor of California, and we do have our border problems indeed. So let's get to this. What is your plan when it comes to the massive unchecked illegal immigration?
So my grandfather came to this country from Cuba legally. I've also, as a business owner over the last 20 years, have hired many people who have come from other countries legally. And so what we need to do is we need to have secure borders and strong immigration laws. It puts unnecessary stress and strain on California taxpayers. So what we need to do is we need to have strict immigration laws, strong borders. But here's the thing, that message usually gets put into the wrong messenger. In me, you have somebody who's 50% Mexican, 50% Cuban. I was born here in the United States, so I'm 100% American. I am the right vessel to tell this story, especially to our minority communities who don't quite understand the significance and the importance of strong border laws. So I'm looking forward to educating, especially our Hispanic community, which makes up 40% of our population here in California, on the significance and importance of having strong immigration laws.
Well said. Well, Anthony, that's all the time we have for you today. Thanks so much, and good luck on your campaign.
Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.